Hey guys, Todd with Great Escape Farms here. Today I am going to have a flower salad. I have a base of spinach here, but other than spinach, everything on this salad is a flower petal from my yard. So I'm getting ready to walk you through the yard and show you the different flowers that I'm putting in here. I believe I have all of the flowers in here except for the toothache flower and of course the dandelion and clover flowers, which I'll talk about, but I don't eat those unless I find them outside of the dog area. So I'm going to walk you through each one of these individually. Here today I am going to wander around the yard and enjoy the taste of some of this beauty. And what I mean by that is I'm going around and I'm going to eat some of the flowers here today. First, a few rules here. When you're eating anything, make sure you know exactly what it is. Make sure you're not allergic to it. Start slowly. Don't eat a whole bunch of something new all at once. And absolutely make sure that you identify exactly what you're eating. With those rules out of the way, let me go ahead and just show you what I'm doing here. So this is a Rose of Sharon bush, and Rose of Sharon is the leaves are edible early on in spring. They're edible right now, but they're kind of fibrous right now. It's midsummer. The roots are also edible, but the flowers are also very edible. And another thing, kind of with all flowers, is you just kind of want to go with the petals themselves here. So we're gonna just grab a couple of petals here, and we're just gonna take and put them right in our mouth. And what I did the other day is I just go ahead and, again, you want to take the stamens and stuff like that out and take and shove them right in the mouth. So they have a little bit of a flowery flavor to them, a little bit mucilaginous, not so much as the leaves, but they're pretty good. So one might ask, why would you want to do that if the flavor isn't that horribly bold? But just imagine if you have some friends over and you have a tossed salad and you put flower petals on and stuff like that and tell them that they can eat it. They people that have never tried stuff like that before. So let's move on to something in the same family here, which is hibiscus. And these are hibiscus flowers here. And again, I'm just going to pull off a leaf. And again, these are huge hibiscus flowers here. I mean, they're as big around as my hand right here. Actually, here's one that's open right here, so you can kind of see how big it is compared to my hand right here. So we're going to take this leaf right here and we're just going to pick and shove it right in the mouth. And again, very good. A little more mucilaginous than the Rose of Sharon. And again, it's almost kind of like iceberg lettuce. So maybe with a little mix of romaine in there as well. So that's very good. Let's see, what else do we have around here? I have some lavender over here, but it has pretty much stopped flowering. Let me see if I can actually get this in. You can see a couple little flowers here. And now that one has a much more pronounced flavor. That's something that you probably wouldn't want to put a whole lot of in a salad because it would overpower it. But definitely a good flavor to it. Okay, this right here is a tropical jasmine flower. The flowers are only good for one day, and they open up at night and then they fall off. And in my research for this particular video, I didn't realize that jasmine flowers were edible. So you have to make sure that it is the fragrant jasmine because there are other types out there. And again, you just want to grab the flower petal itself. Let me give a sniff to it. I absolutely love the smell of these things. And again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pull off the petals here and eat the petals. And again, that one has a kind of a fragrant smell to it, so not something that you would want a whole bunch of. And next on our list here is a rose, and rose petals are edible. So we're just going to pull off a rose petal right here, and we're going to go ahead and try one of those. So the rose itself is a little astringent. Astringent is where it makes your mouth pucker a little, go So that one definitely has a different flavor out of all the flowers I've had so far, and has a little bit of an actual floral flavor to it, I guess I could say. Let's see, what else do we have around here? So there are other flowers in the yard. I have petunias and stuff like that. I have not seen anywhere that it says to eat petunias or anything else. So again, make sure you know exactly what you're eating, and make sure you don't just go around trying stuff. Okay, I was on my way back to the garden area and I ran across these. So these are clover flowers, and you can eat clover flowers. However, I am not going to, because of this little guy right here, Murphy. So him and his sister Molly have done their business in this yard a lot. So I'm not going to be eating anything off of the ground right there. But I am going to come right through here into the garden area. And let's see. Oh, I didn't even think about this one on the list here, but this is something that I plant every year. It's called a toothache plant. And you put it in your mouth, and I'm actually not going to do that right now because it'll spoil my mouth for the rest of this video. But this is the flower of a toothache plant, and it's called toothache plant because if you take the flower of this plant and you put it in your mouth, it has like a Novocaine effect on your mouth. So this is something as a home remedy that you can use for a toothache. I don't know that I would do it because it only lasts for 5 to 10 minutes. So if you really had a toothache, it's something that you would have to do on a regular basis in order to make the ills of your mouth go away. But it definitely works. So I'm going to save that one for another day. But if you ever see a toothache plant, or you see this plant, because I have seen it in garden centers before, you'll know what it is. They actually call it toothache plant. Another thing on garden centers, if you pick any of this stuff up from a garden center, you have to be careful. If they've sprayed any insecticide or fertilizer, you don't want to be eating that. So you gotta watch what you get from the garden centers. So right here, this is something called borage. It has flowers that face down. They're bluish colored flowers, and you pull these off. I've actually had these for many years, and these are great to just take like this and put in a salad. And they actually have a cucumber flavor to it. So you grab a couple of those, you put it on a salad, and people don't see cucumber, but they taste it, and it makes them wonder where it is. So that's cool. Okay, this one right here. Let's see, what else do I have? Actually, I'm going to come back to this one right here. This is anise or anise hyssop, and that's another one that I will eat in a minute, but that's going to mess up my taste buds if I grab that one right now. So this is a type of marigold, and you grab the petals of this, and not all marigolds are edible, but you grab the petals of these, and they actually have a floral flavor to them. And quite good. So this is called calendula, which again is a type of marigold. And do we have anything else here? Some of the bean and pea flowers are edible, but I'm not positive if I have the right ones. Oh, here's one right here. And I actually, we're beyond that now. We're at seed pods. So onion, any of the allium family are the seed heads, or the flowers are edible. So this is an onion or a leek here. So that would have been had I caught it earlier. This little guy right here, this is a dill flower, and dill flowers are also edible. So it tastes kind of like dill themselves. So I'll pull a little bit of that off and put that in. And absolutely does taste like dill. Now over here I have some additional hibiscus like we had earlier, but a different color. Before I had red, these are pink. And that brings us to the last of our list, which we talked about a moment ago. This is anise hyssop. So you can eat the leaves, stalks, pretty much all of this, but you can also eat the flower here in itself. And this has a licorice or an anise type flavor to it. And it's very strong. So if you're going to put that in anything, if you don't want a strong licorice flavor, you want to put just a little bit in if you're just trying to mildly season it. So that's it for this episode. Please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. And remember, all of these that we went over here today, make sure you know exactly what you are eating. You don't want to mistake anything and end up sick or poisoned or dead. So Use caution. You are responsible for what you put in your mouth. Make sure that you know exactly what you are putting in your mouth. Thank you very much and have a great day.